All right, so this is sketching polynomials using intervals. Okay, so they're giving us positive and negative intervals, and then increasing and decreasing intervals, and we have to use this to sketch the polynomial. So the first one here, we're going to use the positive and negative intervals to find the x-intercepts. Okay, so the key numbers here, 0, 1, and 3.5, those are going to be my x-intercepts, my zeros. So I have 0, 1, and 3.5. Okay, and that's because whenever you go from negative to positive, right, you're going from below the x-axis to above the x-axis. You're crossing the x-axis to get from the top to the bottom, or the bottom to the top, right? Whenever you go from positive to negative, you're crossing from the top to the bottom. You're going through the x-axis. So whenever you're going from positive to negative, you have to cross through the x-axis. So I'm going to put those points here at 0, 1, and 3.5. Looks like 1, 2, 3.5 should be about right here. Okay. Now I'm going to use the increasing and decreasing intervals for my turning points. Okay. So turning points, all right, my key turning points are going to be at 0.5 and at 2.5. So your turning points occur whenever you're going from increasing to decreasing, right? We're changing direction. Instead of going up, we're going to go down. Or from decreasing to increasing, you're going to be going down to up. So whenever you change from decreasing to increasing or increasing to decreasing, that's going to be a turning point. So 0.5, so I'm going to put a little dash mark here. Okay. And I'll put a little dash line here at 2.5. Okay. So we could probably sketch this in pretty well here. We can find the max and the mins here if we wanted to be a little bit more precise, but we don't need to quite be so precise necessarily. So when I draw this in, let's see, we start off negative, right? So we're going to start down here in the negative, right? Because negative infinity is 0, right? This is, right, we're starting below. So we start off negative, and we're going to go up, 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 up. Okay, and I'm going to go up through the x-intercept, which was 0. And I'm going to keep going up. I'm going to keep increasing until I hit this blue dashed line, my turning point. And once I hit my turning point, I'm going to go from increasing to decreasing. And I'm going to start going down, 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 down. I'm going to keep going down until I hit the dashed line again. That's my next turning point, 2.5. And then I'm going to go back up. And it's going to go up all the way to infinity. So it's just a rough sketch using the x-intercepts and the turning points. Okay. Let's look at the next one. Okay. Use my positive and negative intervals to find my x-intercepts. So negative 1.6, 0, and 1.6. Okay, we're not going to worry about the maxes or the mins. Okay, and then we're going to use the increasing and decreasing function. So negative 1, 0, and 1. Those are my turning points, right? Negative 1, 0, and 1. All right, and then I'm going to graph them. So my x-intercepts, negative 1.6, 0, and 1.6. My turning points are going to be 0. So I'm going to put a dash line at 0. 1, so I'm going to put a dash line at 1. A negative 1, I'm going to put a dash line at negative 1. Okay, so those are my zeros and my turning points. All right, now let's graph. Okay, so let's see. At the very beginning, I'm going to start positive, right? From negative infinity to negative 1.6. That means I'm going to be above. Okay, so now I'm going to go down. I'm going to go down, and I'm going to keep going down through the x-intercept all the way until I hit a turning point, which is the blue dash line. So now I've hit a turning point. So now I'm going to go from decreasing to increasing. I'm going to go up, up, up until I hit the next turning point at the y right here at 0. Right? It's also it's a x-intercept and a turning point. So now I need to turn again. And I'm going to keep going down and down until I hit the next turning point. And then I'm going to go up, 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 and up, right? Okay. So it's going to look something like that. It's just a rough sketch. It's not perfect. Okay, but we're using those x-intercepts and those turning points to graph it. All right, 2 more here. So on this one, I'm using my positive and negative, right? So the only x-intercept I'm going to have is 0. Okay, and then I'm using my decreasing, increasing for the turning points. That's just going to be 0. So I have 1 x-intercept at 0. And I have my turning point also at 0. Right, so when I graph this, right, I'm starting negative. So from negative infinity to 0, it's going to be negative, which means I have to go up. Okay. When I go hit this x-intercept at 0, I'm also hitting the turning point, right? So since I'm hitting the turning point, I need to go from increasing to decreasing. So there's going to be my graph. Whenever you hit a turning point, you got to go from increasing to decreasing or decreasing to increasing. So there we go. Last one here. Okay. So we have negative, so let's see, we got negative 0.75. We have 0 and we have 2. Those should be my x-intercepts. I use the positive and negative intervals, right? Wherever it changes from positive to negative or negative to positive. So negative 0.75, 0, and 2. Okay, my turning points, negative 0.4 and 1.2. Right, turning points are when it changes direction from increasing to decreasing or decreasing to increasing. So let's see, this turning point, negative 0.4 is going to be between 0 and 0.75. And then 1.4 is probably going to be about right here. Okay, and I'm going to graph. Okay, negative. It starts off negative, right? Negative infinity to negative 0.75. So I'm going to start negative. I'm going to go up, 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 up until I reach that turning point. When I reach that turning point, I need to change directions. Okay, now I'm decreasing until I hit the next turning point. Now I change directions again. And now I'm going up. Okay, and there's going to be my sketch. So we're using the x-intercepts and the turning points to sketch our polynomials.